All right. Good morning, fam. It is Tuesday, January 10th, 2023, and I am here a little before 6 o'clock in the morning to do a little fun programming, as I call it, before I start real work for the day. I always try to loosen up, kind of just get the juices flowing, so to speak, by always working on a personal project. I generally get up really early in the morning, and I like to work on a personal project before I actually start work on projects that pay me money. Just to kind of, like I said, get the juices flowing. And I promise that'll be the last time I talk about juices on this stream. So yesterday we continued work on a message board plugin. I know it's not the most exciting programming, and I'm hoping we can wrap this up today. And then if I do another stream tomorrow or the next time I do a programming stream, we can move on to something a little more general, or something that, because the programming that this is very esoteric to this message board software, Xenforo. But there might be a few people that are interested in it since it's kind of popular. Let me also, I wanted to find a way to get the chat room onto the screen. Actually, let's see if I can tackle that now real quick. I don't know if I can. Well, actually, I could just do this. I could just bring this over. I suppose we can do that if anybody comes into the chat room. I can bring the chat room over. All right. So again, yesterday we were working on this little box over here on the right-hand side of the screen where it says latest feeds. And we were basically just getting that populated, and I actually did get it populated and liked the way it looked. But I did want to make a few tweaks to it. And last night, I went and decided to go ahead and put it on my message board itself. But there were some problems with it, the way it looked. It looked weird on my on my actual message board, where there's, the message board I've been running for almost 20 years now. It looked weird. But when I ran it on the local test board, it looked fine. There was also another issue where the changes I made were not being reflected. I was having a very difficult time getting the changes to be reflected. And what I mean by that is, because you can see how these panels on the right-hand side, they show up on multiple pages. And the style of the page looked different according to the page, or the style of the widget box looked different according to the page. So I don't know what was going on there. So we'll try and figure that out if we can. So let's go ahead and pull, and I believe I did check in a little bit of work to GitHub. So let's go ahead and pull that down. All right, so we have that. And then on my local board, let's see, make sure that this still works. It does. And I just want to go ahead and throw some more test data into the, uh-oh. I just want to go ahead and throw some more test data into the feed, so to speak. Where's the refresh button for Min? Let's just do this. Forms, feed, still signed in. Well, hello there. This is going to be a long message, and I hope that it finds you well. You see everything started to fall apart in the 1980s. When Coca-Cola introduced new Coke. I just wanted a long message typing kind of nonsense. Hopefully that saves, and then I'll give it a like. And then I'll come over here, look at it, and I'll give it a like as well, and then I will reply. Okay. So we got that. And now let's check out the widget. Let's actually check it out on a different form or in a different browser as well. Let's see how that looks. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay. So the title got screwed up, but I know why that is. That's because I haven't imported it. I have not imported any of the data, and I want to remember how to do this. It's going to be php command.php xf dev, I think. Trying to do this from memory. Import -a and then the name of the. All right, PHP is not going to be found on the default folder. It says PHP XAMPP php.exe. Could not open. Oh, so I'm on Windows. I think I'm going to go on another trip relatively soon, and so I will be traveling with my Mac actually. And then if I do some streams, I'll probably at least do some chess streams on my Mac, and then so I'll get to you'll get to see me working on a Mac. I'm in my home office right now, and I have so I have I actually have 2 rooms in the house dedicated to work. So 2 home offices, and one is Mac and one is Windows. But I kind of want to just have one room for my office. It's kind of also not fair to my wife that I'm taking up so much space. So I just kind of want to put everything in this room, but I need to buy another desk because I literally want to have 2 desks. I want to have one desk for where my Windows computer is and another desk where my Mac is. And then that way, I mean, with the work I do, I can literally work on anything. Because everything I do, even if it's, like C++ programming, it has to work on Windows, it has to work on Mac, and most importantly, it has to work on Linux. But I actually do most of my work on Mac, but I'm just streaming on Windows because it's convenient. Okay, it looked like it imported the phrases. So what happened here was that I had turned this into a phrase in the code, and it just needed to be imported. This should work now. Yes, and it worked. Okay, so this window still looks good. So the question is, why did it look weird on my message board? And I'm wondering if part of it has to do with the styling that I have on my message board. I don't understand. I think what I do want to accomplish at least is cleaning up the code a little bit in that template, just cleaning up the template code. It was when I was looking at it last night, I was like, okay, this is kind of a mess. I just kind of copy and pasted what worked, and then once it worked, I left it at that. So let's go ahead, load it up. All right, so we were working on the template, and I need to put it in the template editor, unfortunately. This is another thing I'm not crazy about this programming for this form software, is because a lot of it I have to do in the browser on the software itself, and I'm just not crazy about that. All right, I gotta put in a password. So I hope everybody's doing well. It is Tuesdays for a long time were my favorite day of the week. I don't know why. I think now Thursdays are probably my favorite day. Maybe Wednesday. But Tuesdays were my favorite day. I loved a rainy, cold, rainy, cloudy Tuesday day. Not sure why. All right, so we go down to templates. Just list the templates for my add-on. And this is the LZ feed preview template is the one we're interested in. I'm just going to copy this into another text window. And that way it'll be a lot easier to edit. Now I'm going to have to go back and forth with copy and pasting, but you know, it is what it is. All right, let me, can I do this? No, this, okay. Ugh, all right, never mind. How do I turn off that preview mini-map? Turn that off. Okay. So what I meant by it's a mess, I mean, you've got feed content, entry container with message inner, message cell, message main, message content, node extra. And all of that's included in this block container, minor header. Now, I think it's the block container, which is the actual, where did it go? Is the actual like white box with the border around it. I think that is the block container. Actually, I always forget. I can just do it in inspection tools. And the inspection tools are awesome. Like the inspection tools are one of the things about web programming that I'm jealous of. I generally do not like web programming, but the inspection tools are pretty amazing and really useful. So you can see here, I mean, this starts at the block, at this div block. I think it does. Let me make sure that. Okay, so yeah, so this includes that. So block includes this block container is everything inside of it, minor header, feed entry container. I mean, do I need all of these? Look at that. Look, you've got, where did it start? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 divs that are all the same, that kind of look like the same thing. Now, I'm sure that they each do something, and each div is special in its own special way. But I am going to start deleting these just to see. I don't know. Do I need all of them? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Delete element. Oh, no. I actually just want to delete the class. So let's do that. See what that changes. That changed nothing. Nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. Okay, surely this is going to change something. Okay, now I start to question, is it really working? Like, are my changes really representative? Like, are my expectations correct? Because if I type 1212 here, it certainly shows up there. So according to this, according to what we just did, block minor header, I don't need anything after node extra. So if I come back here, message content, message main, message cell, message enter, and feed content, I could, in theory, do this. Let's check it out. All right, this, I'm just going to delete the class names of all of these divs. I'm not going to delete the divs right yet, so I got to copy. This is where it gets annoying. I got to copy the code, and then I got to paste it into the template. Paste, reload, save it, and then reload the screen. See how it looks. And it looks fine. Let's inspect. So you can see it's a bunch of empty divs with empty class names. So that's what I expected. And again, enjoying my Diet Mountain Dew. I was hoping my pal Jove would be here, but apparently he fell asleep, which is good. I think that kid is constantly just staying up until 6 a.m. All right. So let me go ahead and now instead of just deleting the class names, let's actually delete the divs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's like 5 divs I can delete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's try this. This is just deleting. This is not deleting the class name. This is deleting the div altogether. And the reason you want to do this is just to have less code, because if the less code there is, the less bugs you can write. And then that just completely screws everything up. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. All right. So obviously there is something going on that requires me to have these divs. Do I need them all? That is another question. Like, what if, let's go back to the original. Whoops, not that far. What if, all right, let me, I think, can I format this? For format selection. Okay. This is the section I want. And then actually what I want to get rid of this deleted part. For now, I want to assume that the feed always has content. Okay. So this div here is the actual body of the, it's the actual portion of the username, the avatar, the timestamp, and the message itself. And you can see here, avatar, username, timestamp, message. Oh, excuse me. All right. So obviously I don't need, all right, okay, I have an idea. I can use the inspector again to look a little more closely at things. So let's save. Let's refresh. Okay, now we're back to how we want it to look. All right. Now what's the equivalent, the equivalent, because I can't do delete element, because if I delete the element, it's going to delete everything inside of it as well. I really just want to like delete the element, not the element and its contents. Is there an option like that? Delete, duplicate, edit, HTML. I was thinking, like, what if I just changed... it's not even going to let me change the div. Edit HTML. Right, okay. Oh, hi, boy. Come here. Come here. Come here, little man. Come here. And my dog wants to come up on my lap. I know it's really early. He wants to go to sleep. He just wants to sleep for a little while. Okay. What a pain. What a pain in the butt. I mean, there's just a lot going on here, and I don't know... I don't know what I can delete. Message inner, message cell, message main. There's so much. And like everything's listed here. At least I thought it was. Compute layout. What do we do? I think we just start deleting things and seeing what works. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then we'll delete 4 here. We'll keep that outer, the outer content. Now, I know this looks all dirty. It looks, you know, like a mess, but that's, you know, I'll clean it up at the end once I figure out what's working. I'm not too concerned with style points right now. Okay. All right. Oh. So this looks good, but this was kind of the trap I ran into yesterday when I was looking at this in the evening. Is I would make these changes. I would think that they looked all right, but then I would go to another forum and it didn't look right. But let's see. So this is main category. Let's load it up. What if I look at it in here? I mean, it looks okay. Div feed container. And then another thing, there was like on my message board yesterday, there was a lot of space in between each one, and that was part of the reason I wanted to try and delete some of these elements, was because I wanted to reduce the space that was between each element. And in order to do that, I was trying to figure out, well, where is the space coming from? Which divs have that huge spacer? Okay, so there's that. Let's format this. Format selection. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we just formatted things, make it a little bit prettier. Username. So feed content, feed entry, and then node extra that goes there. Right? Yeah. At least I think it does. Okay. Let's try the clean version just to make sure. What's going on, little buddy? Got my dog sleeping on my lap now. I mean, you know, they say Yorkies are lap dogs, and I think it's because people train them to be lap dogs, and he has definitely become a lap dog. He just dies if he's not on your lap. All right, I'm going to try and investigate the space. This is all GUI programming. Generally, I hate front-end programming. And, I mean, this really isn't an exception. It's okay, though. Block container. Okay, so it looks like feed content looks like what has this feed content, feed entry container, right? Or is it node extra? What has the padding? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Node extra. Display vertical line with padding. Aha. Aha. So if I change the padding to 0, okay. So if I change it to 5. The problem is that node extra is used throughout. It's used in a few different places, it looks like. So I changed that to 5. Is there padding on feed content or feed container? That is the next question. It's almost like you can't find it. Okay. So I wonder, let me reload this. I want to change the padding, and that was of node extra. I want to change the padding of node extra, I think is what we had. Node extra padding right there. I wonder if, okay, so it has a padding at 10. What if I put padding, I think I can do it like this. Style equals padding, and let's do something absurd just to see if it's working. 10px. Okay, and that works because the padding I define here will override the padding inside of extra. So I should be able then to do this. So let's find the padding that looks decent. 5 looks good, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Really, it is the padding, is it bottom? Do I get any kind of autocomplete? again, do something absurd to see if it works. Okay, it does work. See, it's just the bottom padding that I really want to change. So like, what if I change that to 1? There's still a fair amount of padding going on. What if I do padding top 1? But see, look. There's more space between these two than there is. There's more space between the top two than there is between the bottom two. No, there's more space between the bottom two than there is between the top two, and I don't know why. Oh, because I only changed the padding on one of them. Okay, that makes sense. So let's put this into our style and see what happens. So that will go into node extra right here. Padding, okay, and then we put that into our template. And then see how it looks. Okay, it definitely changed, and it actually looks a little crowded. So maybe we can change the padding a little more. It was 10. What if we cut it in half and make it even 5? Well, not an even 5, but we make it exactly 5. What if we do that? 5 is not an even number. That was the point. I think that's okay. Now, I really want to try this on my actual message board, but the problem with that is how do I say this? The content of my message board is it's crass. it's a board filled with internet trolls, and therefore it is not exactly family friendly. So maybe I try it off screen. Well, let me see. Let me look at the content over here off screen and see what's going on. Let's see. Xiaomi is locked up here. Okay, there's a couple of things that probably would raise some eyebrows. But what I can do is I can try it off screen real quick. Well, it's not going to be real quick. It's going to take me a second, but let's see. I've had this message board for years. I started it in 2004, probably before some of you were born. And so it's been around for a long time. And it's just grown into a community of internet trolls. Honestly, that's all it is. Okay, why didn't that work? Form view. Okay, I want form list sidebar. Form list sidebar. Okay. Okay. And then here, let me. Here, I can show some of the content. I'll cut it off here. But you can see there's a lot of space here, and that looks kind of ugly. So if I try the same kind of fix that I did where I put, I just put this here. So let's see if I can, let's see. Okay. Right here. And then I put it, oh, and I still have all this junk. Node extra. I put it in node extra. I mean, it moved. Let me try just replacing the template on my board and see what happens. Alrighty. feed. I don't know why these are red. My board is literally just a mess. It's just a mess. It's okay. That's okay. I've been using Xenforo. I used vBulletin for a long time, from like 2004 until 2018, 17, and then I finally upgraded to Xenforo once my good friend Joe upgraded his board. That looks a lot better. That the space is gone. That looks a ton better. I'm gonna keep that. That's gonna, like last night when I was fooling around with this, it looked horrible, so I disabled it. But it looks a lot better like that. I'm gonna take this off screen so I can see what the whole page looks like. And if you would like to become a message of my board, I don't know if registration is open right now. Let's see. Why is this so slow? It just crawls, just everything. It looks like registration. How do I? Oh my God! Wait, what is this? Why does min box and features? I'm gonna cancel that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Here's a better way we can do it. So my message board has several URLs: amb.dog, anothermessageboard.com. It looks like registration is open. So if you would like to join another message board and join all the internet trolls where everybody is going to summarily tell you to F off, please go to anothermessageboard.com. But I really like the way that the feed widget looks now. And honestly, that's all I wanted to accomplish. It is 6:19. And that really wasn't any programming. I think maybe the next stream I do, what can we work? If we look at my GitHub, there's a couple of projects. The main one actually isn't even on here. This is the one that I kind of want to work on, where it's an example of an Electron TypeScript app with C++ and CMake as a backend. And this would be just kind of a template. Or I could work on this project here, which is also an Electron app, which will eventually use C++ as a backend. This is the, and I think I mentioned a couple of days ago how I have a gripe against Discord, and you can see here I have Discord loaded up, but I have a gripe, and I would like to write a Discord alternative, and I have ideas about it. Like Discord is its own, you know, you can create your own quote servers on Discord, but they're all still owned and operated by Discord. So if you create a Discord server that Discord doesn't like, they can delete your server. And that's they've never do, you know, I have a server for my message board, and you know there's never been a problem. But there's just some other kind of things that Discord has been doing that I don't. I would just like to write a competitor, and how can I put this? I know I have the knowledge and the experience to write a Discord competitor. I just don't have the time. but you know, I do work on personal projects. So this was kind of what I wanted to work on a little bit. I can show it. I think I have it on here. So I originally did call it Electric Owl, and that is the reason I called it Electric Owl is because I had a long time this app called Owl, and this was written in C++, and this was like a message board reader, and this is a really, really old screenshot, and you can see I haven't updated this project in 3 years. It looks like I did do something. Oh, I updated the README 9 months ago, but for the most part, I haven't worked on this in about 3 years. And it was a, you know, you could add message boards to it on the left, and then you could kind of read them. And this UI is old. This UI wasn't great, but it is what it is. And I worked a lot on this project. I worked hard on this project, and I actually had it on the Apple Store for a while. And I really should have committed to the project, because this, at one point, with no advertising, the app was getting 10 downloads a day, 5 to 10 downloads a day. And I know some of you might, think like, oh, well, that's just 5 to 10 downloads a day. You got to understand that most apps get no downloads per day. There, of course, are the very, very popular apps that everybody uses that get hundreds or if not thousands of downloads per day. Apps will go through stages also. They'll go viral for like a week or two where they get hundreds of thousands of downloads per day and then no downloads at all. But this was getting a consistent 5 to 10 downloads every day for like 2 years. And honestly, it just wasn't good enough. I mean, it worked, it was functional, but it just wasn't good enough. And part of that was because I just didn't have the time to really commit to it. Anyway, so the project I want to work on is not OWL. I called it, the project I want to work on, I called Electric OWL, because I wanted to basically write OWL in Electron. Electron is a framework, a JavaScript framework for writing GUI applications. And so I have this idea where this new version of OWL, which I called Electric OWL originally, would be kind of what OWL was. You could read message boards, but it would kind of be that concept of reading message boards combined with Discord. And also, it would remove the centralization of Discord. So if I run a message board, I could install something on my message board that would allow people to use this Electric OWL app to connect to my message board, to not only view the forums and view posts and write posts, but also to chat with other users. So this package would contain a chat package or a chat functionality. And I have ideas about how it could work and how you could do intra-board communication. So my friend Joe, who runs a message board, he can install this too on his message board. And that way users on my board could chat with users on his board. You could potentially even do sharing of posts. Like I could post on his board, he could post on mine, which is something that I actually did do a long time ago on vBulletin. But anyway, so I just have this whole idea of basically creating, so what this creates is like a mesh social network where people can kind of join into it and join out. And it's a little bit different than the Federation, than the Fediverse. This is very much a plug and play type thing. I think the Fediverse is a little more, it is a little more organized. This would be a very just kind of optional plug and play. Like people could, or message or forum admins could just come and go as they please, and then users could come and go as they please as well. Anyway, that's just kind of thinking off the top of my head, and that might be the next project we start working on. I renamed it. I did rename it. I didn't like the name. I wasn't crazy about the name Electric OWL, so I actually ended up renaming it to where'd it go? Repositories. I actually wanted to. I wanted to start working under it under the name of Kekbo, and you can see here. This is what did I put in here? I'm not even sure what I put in here. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. I just cloned it to a different repository. But yes, Kekbo. I don't know why. I kind of like that name. And then last night I was kind of looking, and BO is the domain is the TLD for. Or not the TLD. I forget what portion of the URL that's called, but it's maybe it's TLD, but it's the country identifier. BO is the country identifier for Bolivia, and anybody who knows me knows that I have I have a strong tie to Bolivia. My family is Bolivian. I go to Bolivia often. I speak Spanish, so part of what I thought of doing was registering the name Kekbo, but KEK.BO. And then I went to go look in Bolivian domains. I went to go look, and then sure enough, it was available. And let's see if it's still available. Kekbo. But it's a bit expensive. $209 a year. That's a bit expensive. We do have somebody in the chat room. Morning. Wanted to swing by and give you the first like. Well, thank you, DJ Odyssey. I appreciate that. I was about to sign off, but appreciate the like. Just talking about what I think I'm going to start working on maybe tomorrow or the next time I do a morning stream of programming. But sometimes I do sleep in. You know, I don't always get up at 4 a.m. The past few days I have been getting up at 4 a.m., which is why I've been streaming at 5:30 in the morning. But, you know, if I sleep in, I will probably likely not stream because I do like to start work at around 6:30, 7 o'clock. So... Oh, and then Bird's here. Just as I'm about ready to sign off, people start showing up. Yeah, you need to get up earlier, you losers. Like, what are you sleeping in so late for? Ah, Bird followed. Bird of Prey says Kopla. DJ Odyssey says sure. Bird followed me, and then Captain Fandom Nerd, DJ Odyssey. Hey, I feel obligated to stay now because people are in the chat room and actually talking. But I don't have much to do. You guys got to get up earlier, you know. I started at 5:45. What's going on? Anyway, but I do like, you know, Joe. You should go check out the feed widget that I was working on. It is up. It is live on AMB now, and it looks great. So be sure to AMB it, Joe. AMB it. And guys, I appreciate all the chats. I will maybe be back tomorrow. I might play a game of chess later tonight. Who knows? But I kind of like this programming in the morning kind of thing. Like I said, it gets things started for the day. So now I am going, and honestly, I wish I could do my actual work on stream. Like there have been times, because I often talk to myself while I'm working. But obviously that would cause confidentiality issues with it. Probably wouldn't be good to have you know, some companies' code on the screen, some companies' private code on the screen while I'm working on it. So not good. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.